And we are back with Kim Baker, who is the Senior Director of Innovation at Elemental Accelerator. I'm so happy to have you here.
Yes.
Can you just briefly tell us what Elemental Accelerator does and why it's different from other VC firms?
I'd love to, and thank you so much. The programming has been amazing. I've never heard the planet has a fever before. I love that description. So about Elemental, we're a nonprofit investor. I know you've probably not heard that term a whole lot, especially in a room full of this audience. So what is behind what we're doing? Essentially, we're working at the intersection of climate change and social impact. And how we're doing that is funding entrepreneurs, because we understand that they're wired to make change and make the impact that we all hope to see faster. So to date, we have about 150 companies in the portfolio. We've been investing for over 12 years now. We have 25 exits to date, and our portfolio together employs 5,000 people. So the bottom line is, for companies to come through sort of the accelerator program, receive funding from us, and get all the way to that exit, it touches most of the people in this room. So they need their corporate partners, they need their investment dollars, and we really help them through that process along the way.
It's amazing to hear about. I understand Elemental works with something called a Square Partnerships model. Love to hear a little bit more about that. And tell us also a bit more about why it's important to invest in traditionally excluded founders.
Yeah, and so I'll maybe sort of zoom out for a minute and say that we invest broadly across all things climate. The En-ROADS descriptor was a great sort of platform. Anything related to climate, water, energy, mobility, food, agriculture. We know that all of these problems are systemic and they're interlinked. And so one of the ways that we work is through something that we call a demonstration project or a scale-up project. What we're doing through the work and through our funding dollars is filling a scale-up gap. So filling a commercialization gap that these companies need to go from a technology solution to a sustainable business that can then work with corporate partners or work with, large-scale global deployments. What we want to do is deploy those projects in frontline communities. And the way that we think about that is a frontline community is a community that experiences the impact of climate change first and foremost, albeit they don't always sort of deliver the most, the most of the contamination. They just happen to be there at the front line. So it's twofold. We think about it as equity in and equity out. Equity into a company is a thing, something like the leadership team. And so we look to invest in traditionally excluded leaders. We're thinking about females, BIPOC founders, people that we don't always see sort of centered at the table. Those individuals often come with the greatest context, the greatest understanding, the greatest knowledge and passion for solving those super hyper local problems that then can scale at a global level. So the Square partnership is like a very oversimplified descriptor of exactly that. We know that the problem of climate change is a really big mountain to climb, and we hope to break it down into sort of digestible, bite-sized pieces. The Square partnership is Elemental as the organization, as a funder, and then the commercialization partner. So that could be, any large organization that would be a commercial customer of the company that we work with. Ideally, they're co-funding the project to show that commercial support. It would be the startup company or the growth stage company. And that's sort of the secret, unique sauce we've heard a little bit over the last 2 days here, and I'm glad that we're starting to hear more and more of it with the IRA and centering frontline communities, is the community partner. And so we hope that when we're deploying these projects, we not only are working at sort of the global macro level, but we're really working at an individualized local level to understand things like unintended consequences and impact of what these projects will deliver time and time again.
That's amazing. We only have about 30 seconds left, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about what type of wraparound services you have for your portfolio companies.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it. As a nonprofit investor, we don't have LPs. We're not looking to sort of take a return and extract the dollars. We put them back into the system that we've built. So we meet the portfolio where it's at. As the portfolio grows, we grow our services. Some of the newest services that we provide are a policy lab. We've heard a lot from policy leaders across the country here today. We're looking to unlock and sort of break down barriers that these companies face as they grow. Policy, carbon finance, investors and residents. It sort of goes on and on and on. As the portfolio matures, we'll mature along with it.
We've been talking with Kim Baker, Senior Director of Innovations at Elemental Accelerator. Kim, thanks so much for joining us on Sidebar for the conversation.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time.